So today I got a really good hypothetical for you guys, and as you might have seen from the thumbnail or the title, I still didn't name anything. We're talking about SAMs and SAM systems. Now you might be wondering, you're saying, hey Silent, why do we need this? We already have the Tor, we already have the Panzer, the ADATs, all of these anti-air systems in game that are pretty effective. And to be fairly honest, if you played Ground RB, especially on the American side, after the update of Sons of Attila, well, the infamous Panzer has been nerfed, and every single anti-air was nerfed drastically. I think that they added a lot of drag to the missiles, and now they are pretty ineffective. Which led to F-16Cs mainly, amongst other aircraft, to dominate the battlefield. So that is our problem right there. Now we all know that a lot of War Thunder players hate CAS, a lot of War Thunder players don't like planes in tank battles, all of that. That's a completely different can of worms to open up. But today we're talking about the S-300 and the Patriot anti-air defense systems. So people that don't know about these systems might say, okay, just add them in, how hard could it be? Well, actually it presents a massive problem. The anti-airs that we have in War Thunder right now, or the little SAM systems that we have in War Thunder right now, are just literally a bunch of trucks or chassis with anti-air weaponry mounted into them. Everything is on the chassis itself. The radar, the missiles, the guidance, everything is on one vehicle. When it comes to these systems, however, these advanced systems, they are separate. So right now you're like saying, okay, what's the big fuss? I mean, there are different systems they can be implemented. The problem being is these SAM systems have the main truck itself, which launches the missile, the radar on one different part, and sometimes the radar composes of two different vehicles, one for search, the other for track and guidance. You have the main power supply for everything, because all of these radars require a ton of electricity so they can function. And you have the command post. You see the problem right here? Now there are still many problems that come with these SAM systems, especially on how powerful they are, but we'll get into that in a little second. So let's start talking about the S-300 air defense system. The S-300 system basically composes of different vehicles so it can operate. You have the vehicle that has the search radar, which is mainly to search for different types of threats in the air. Then you have the truck that has the engagement radar, which basically takes all of the information from the search radar and basically tracks and guides the missile towards, well, the threat that you want to take out. Then you have the command post that controls everything, which is self-explanatory. And finally, you have the TELS, which is the transporter erector launcher that is going to launch the missile itself. Now, realistically speaking, if we're in a battlefield or real life or whatever like that, you're going to have multiple TELS that are present, since one truck can carry 4 of these missiles. And of course, they're all connected to the different parts so they can work as a cohesive, well, unit. And now the Patriot system is also composed of mainly the same things. Basically, you have the phased array radar, which is responsible for detecting and tracking incoming threats. You also have a fire control system, which processes radar data, identifies target, and coordinates, well, missile launches. The launcher itself, which holds multiple interceptor missiles and is used for launching them at incoming threats, of course. And you have an engagement control station, which is basically the command center for the Patriot battery, where operators monitor airspace, select engagement targets, and control the missile launchers. It's literally the same combination. IRL, you will have more vehicles on site, especially logistic vehicles and all that, but for the sake of the game, we'll just keep it simple. So as you might see right here, this is very complex. We have different types of vehicles, and that presents the first problem that we encounter. Yes, our first problem here is not how strong these vehicles are, and I'm going to talk about that, by the way. It's how to actually control them in-game. Now, Gaijin already has a solution for this, and it was thought of by General Lee. Smart dude, I must add. And he told me about the Sturm Tiger event, and I remembered that we can swap into anti-air units that are manned by NPCs or different types of units like the 3.7mm to take out tanks and use that. And that would be a really interesting idea if, well, the SAM system is stationary and is not going to move. That might work, let's say, for an S100 or an S200 system, because it's literally stationary. But when it comes to the Patriot and the S300+++, including the versions that come after it, these are mobile systems, which means they can move. Now, a pretty interesting solution provided to me by a friend of mine, Laporto. He actually studied radars in military and all of that, and a really interesting idea came up from him. And the idea is very, very simple, however extremely complex when it comes to coding. Imagine you have all of these different parts, and you have a menu like the T menu or the Y menu that we have in game to communicate with your own, well, units that are following you. You can pack and unpack the entire battery whenever you want. However, that will take time. Imagine like you're damaged in a battle and you're pressing F so you can repair your tank and you get that little annoying repair timer. It's exactly like that, which provides a little bit of balance when an aircraft is trying to engage these systems, because that's going to be an extremely easy window of opportunity for the planes to engage the anti-air system without it being deployed. Now, how it works is you're controlling the launcher and guiding it and whatever, just like any anti-air, and you have a radar screen in front of you. Your whole hood can be the entirety of the radar, and basically you can command all of these different modules, which is going to be easy to implement. The hard part though, what if you want to kill this? And I'm not talking about just, hey, you launched one missile at it, or there is a spawn camper that is coming in. Like, literally, how would you kill it? Would you need to take out all of the present trucks, or do you just have to take out one singular module and that's it? The entire thing is destroyed. You see, these are the two easiest problems that we have to deal with, because the other problem is a balancing factor. Since these systems have a very, and I do mean very, lethal anti-air capabilities, they cannot be easily taken out by planes. There are ways, of course, but it's really not that easy to take them out. These anti-air systems literally have a minimum of a 120 kilometer detection range. And the missiles themselves, well, those are a completely different story. The missiles that the S300 battery can use are, well, extremely long range. Even the shortest range out of them is the 9M96 missile, which has a 40 to 50 kilometers range. The 48N6 missile has a 195 kilometers range, covering literally the biggest map in War Thunder and more. The Patriot, on the other hand, literally has a more manageable and, well, balanced missile. The short-range missile on the Patriot is called the PAC-3, that's PAC-3, and basically it has an effective range of approximately 20 kilometers. Well, the PAC-2, on the other hand, is the long-range missile, and it has a 160 kilometer range. I told you that the controlling of multiple vehicles is going to be the easiest problem. And what is the solution for this balancing issue? Well, I'm going to need your help in the comments down below, and maybe suggest something. Because maybe, just maybe, one day we might see these anti-air systems in War Thunder. Anyway, guys, I hope that you really enjoyed the video, and it was a really nice food for thought. And I'll see you on the next one.